Today we're going over the Spike Prime application, which you can use to program all of your Spike's components. The app is available for download on iOS, Android, or desktop, and today I'm going to be using the desktop version. On the home screen, you'll find recent projects you've worked on, as well as the option to start a brand new project. If you don't want to start coding just yet, and instead want a step-by-step intro on how to code in the Spike app, you can click on the Start page and follow these 1, 2, 3 starting activities to kind of get your feet wet. If you move into the Unit Plans page, you can find specific activities that guide you in building different robots and programming them using blocks. And under the Build page, you can find specific instructions to build lots of different kinds of robots, though they don't come with coding instructions. And in this last section, you can just find a more elaborate list of all of your projects. Let's go ahead and open up a new project. You can name it, I'm just going to name it Blocks 1, and we're going to start with the word blocks overview. You can click the timestamp in the video description if you want to jump to the Python overview though. The word blocks coding is kind of what it sounds like. You combine different kinds of blocks in order to program your robots. All of the blocks are on the left, and you can either scroll up or down to find the blocks that you need, or you can click these section bubbles to jump to the sections that you need. You can drag and drop blocks from the left side over onto the script space and attach them in order to start building your program. Each block has different types of parameters that you can control. The motors, for example, let you choose which port the motor is connected to, which direction you want it to run in, and how long you want it to run, whether it be rotations, degrees, or seconds. The parameters for this right block let you type in whatever you want to show up on the hub. You can also right-click on the desktop or hold down on the mobile version, and you can add comments to your blocks. And this is especially helpful if you have multiple motors of the same kind that you want to be able to keep track of. You'll almost always want to have a starting block from the events section as well. If you notice, this block has sections on the bottoms that you can attach blocks to, but you can't attach anything at the top. Blocks code runs from top to bottom, meaning that the one on the top will run first before moving on to the next one. And to upload code to your hub, what you can do is select the number file that you want to save it to, and then click play to run it, or the stop button to stop the program. There are also small icons on the top that show you the components that you have attached to your hub. Right now I have a motor and it tells you what angle it's at. And you can also have sensors like the color sensor or distance sensor that tell you what color is being read or what distance is being measured. There are a ton of other blocks down here that you can also experiment with. And in the future videos, we'll cover some of these, such as variables and operators. To start in Python, make sure you have Python selected and name your project, and then select Create. A brand new Python script will open up to you, and you'll immediately notice that there are a ton of default imports and settings already in the script. Here at the top, we have all of the imports, and these are the modules that allow you to actually use some of the commands in your code. For example, if you didn't have this distance sensor module imported, you wouldn't be able to use any of the distance sensor commands. And there are a lot of other imports that you can bring in and use if you need them for your program. Another one of the defaults is also redefining prime hub as hub, and this to keep some of your commands a little bit shorter and more compact because they can get a little bit long at times. We'll also go ahead and delete this one. It's a default, but we won't need it. One of your best friends in Spike Python coding is going to be the tab on the right-hand side that opens up the knowledge base. In here, you can find specific commands, examples, mini lessons on how to code using Python, and all other kinds of helpful information. Whenever you're not quite sure how to do something, the knowledge base is a good place to start. There's a getting started option at the very top that guides you through concepts such as loops or how to control sensors. But if you just want details on specific commands for specific components, you can just click into them and find all of the commands and their specific information. At the very top, you'll have a small note telling you whether you need to initialize a sensor or maybe just a small description of what it is, and a quick example on how to do that. You can click this blue icon here to copy the example, and you can drop it directly, paste it directly into your script. When you scroll down, you'll find different commands under these different control categories, such as taking measurements or waiting for specific events to happen. If we go into the single motors and click into one of the commands, you'll notice that at the very top we have the parameters for that command, in this case degrees, direction, and the speed of the motor. There's also more in-depth information about your component, and if you scroll farther down, probably one of the most helpful things to know is the parameter value, which lists what things you can use for the specific parameters of your component or of your command. You can see this very much in the light matrix, for example, where your parameters are your image and your brightness, and your parameter values down here tell you what images you can use as your parameter. And at the very bottom of all of these, you can also find specific examples that you can directly copy and paste onto your script and edit as necessary to get rid of the things that you don't need or that you already have. When your script is set up and you're ready to run your code, you can choose which number file on the hub you want to save your program to, and you can click the play button to upload your code and the stop button to terminate your program. Thank you so much for watching this quick tutorial, and I hope that you learned something from this video. Please remember to drop a like below, and if you want to learn more about Spike Prime, make sure to check out our other tutorials.